Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Prahlad Nisingha, Prahlad Nisingha, Prahlad Nisingha, Jaya Prahlad Nisingha. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ashtashaki's ki, Shri Prabhupada ki. No, it's okay. Yeah. For my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Vasudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Somebody can translate from English and German? Abira, okay, thank you. So many guests today speaking English. We read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 27, Understanding Material Nature. Text 20. Kvachit Tatvama Shena Nivritam Bhayam Ulbanam Anivritta Nimitatvat Puna Pratyavatishtate Kvachit Tatvavamashena Nivrittam Bhayam Ulbanam Anivritta Nimitatvat Puna Pratyavatishtate Kvachit Tatvavamashena Nivrittam Bhayam Ulbanam Anivritta Nimitatvat Puna Pratyavitishtate. Please chant, Prabhus. Advaita Shena. Ich hab schon zweite Mal jetzt. Matachis. Kvachit, in a certain case, Tattva, the fundamental principles, Avamashina, by reflecting upon, Nivritam, avoided, Mayam, fear, Ulbanam, great, Anivritta, not ceased, Nimitatvat, since the cause, Punaha, again, Pratyavatishtate, it appears. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principles, it may still appear again, since its cause has not ceased. Purport. Material bondage is caused by putting oneself under the control of matter, because of the false ego of lording it over material nature. Bhagavad Gita 7.27 states, Icha Dvesha Samutena, two kinds of propensities arise in the living entity. One propensity is Icha, which means desire to lord it over material nature, or to be as great as the Supreme Lord. Everyone desires to be the greatest personality in this material world. Dvesha means envy. When one becomes envious of Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one thinks Why should Krishna be the all and all? I'm as good as Krishna. These two items, desire to be the Lord and envy of the Lord, are the beginning cause of material bondage. As long as a philosopher, salvationist or voidist has some desire to be supreme, to be everything, or to deny the existence of God, the cause remains and there's no question of his liberation. Devahuti very intelligently says, one may theoretically analyze and say that by knowledge he has become freed, but actually, as long as the cause exists, he is not free. Bhagavad Gita confirms that after performing such speculative activities for many, many births, when one actually comes to his real consciousness and surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna, then the fulfillment of his research in knowledge is actually achieved. There is a gulf of difference between theoretical freedom and actual freedom from material bondage. The Bhagavatam 10:14-4 says that if one gives up the auspicious path of devotional service and simply tries to know things by speculation, one wastes his valuable time. Klishyanti ye kevala bodha laptyate. The result of such a labor of love is simply labor. There is no other result. The labor of speculation is ended only by exhaustion. The example is given that there is no benefit in husking the skin of an empty paddy. The rice is already gone. Similarly, simply by the speculative process, one cannot be freed from material bondage, for the cause still exists. One has to nullify the cause, and then the effect will be nullified. This is explained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the following verse. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Bhangum Rangare Kirim Yat Kripadam Aham Vande Shri Guru Dinatharanam Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshware Prishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadyade Shatarine Vanchakalpa Darubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kvachittatva mamashena nivrittam bhayam ulpanam anivrittani mittatvat puna pratyavitishtate. Even if the great fear of bondage is avoided by mental speculation and inquiry into the fundamental principles, it may still appear again, since its cause has not ceased. Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Sorry to disappoint you, I'm not Amaprabhu. He had a long travel behind him, and he asked me to give him, instead of him, the Srimad Bhagavatam class. The cause has not ceased. What is the cause? What is the cause of the material bondage? Prabhupada mentioned it also once in the purport. Yes. Yes. Icha Dvesha means desire and hate, or desire and envy. That we want to be the supreme, we want to be the controller, we want to be the enjoyer. Like sometimes we compare it like a cheap Elvis Presley imitation. You want to be like, Sometimes you have these Elvis Presley imitations, and they look very similar, and they try to be like Elvis Presley, but they're not Elvis Presley. I was not an Elvis Presley fan because it was before my time, but yeah. Just to get the point, we try to imitate. It's the nature of us. We wanna be like Elvis Presley. No, we wanna be like Krishna. It's very deeply rooted, and this is when the false ego comes into place, and this is the cause actually of the material bondage. And to all this knowledge we get, to all this speculative knowledge, even the knowledge we have here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, just by reading this knowledge, we will not understand Krishna. Just by hearing, just by reading, everything starts by hearing. It's the first process of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Shravanam means hearing, Kirtanam means glorifying Vishnu, Smaranam, remembering the Supreme Lord. Archanam, Mandanam, Padasevanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Yeah. To make friend with the Lord, become His servant, worship Him, worship His lotus feet, offer prayers, offer worship, and ultimately Atmanivedanam, give up everything. Full surrender to Krishna. And it's very difficult, very, very difficult. And at the same time, it's so easy. It's so simple. It's really so easy. I'm still a little bit intoxicated from the festival we had. Sometimes, always actually when we have festivals, you can feel the energy level is rising, the consciousness is rising, the false identification is decreasing. But yeah, somehow this time it lasts a little bit longer. It's still somehow ecstatic. It feels like we have still a festival. And actually we have. Every day is a festival. I mean, who is waking up in the morning and 4 o'clock and chants ecstatically Hare Krishna? where you gonna do that, other than a temple? I mean, at home it's a little bit difficult to wake up at 4, to Mangalarati maybe at 4:30. Probably you chant before and then you do the Mangalarati, but more soft because you can't be so loud like in a temple. But he has no boundaries. As long as we close the window, we can do what we want. Can be really loud, ecstatic, devotional, jump around. It's so nice. It's so easy. Krishna made it so easy for us to approach Him. I liked Nectar of Devotion the last few days. We're reading about this one point, and in each paragraph it says the above mentioned point. And we always forget probably the above mentioned point. Then he talks about the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, the Brahmacharis, the Grihastas, the Vanaprasthas, and the Sannyasis. And that's all not so important. The above mentioned point, this is the only thing matters. This is the only rule in Krishna consciousness. Somebody remembers this point? Yes, 108 points for Hari Prabhu. Yes, to never forget Krishna. Shri Shri Prahlad Nishingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Confirmation. And to always remember Krishna. There's nothing else. Nothing else matters. Nothing. If you always remember Krishna, everything is possible. Krishna is in my heart. Krishna is in your heart. Krishna is in all the hearts. Today we're saying, Bahir Nishingo, Hridaye Nishingo. And then I realized that Bahir Kumbhaka is like pranayama when you hold the breath after the exhalation. Just remember today doing the singing. And then I thought like, yeah, Nishingadev is outside. Like when you breathe out and you hold the breath, you leave the breath outside. And then Hridaye, he's in our heart. He's here. Nishingadev is here right now. It may appear he sits on the altar, but simultaneously he's in your heart. And if you render devotional service with love, with devotion, with sincerity, with a prayerful mood, with an intention of, please Krishna, accept my devotional service. I'm not qualified, I'm fallen. You should come in this mood of lamentation. Vishaya Yoga, the yoga of lamentation. You know which chapter of Bhagavad Gita this is? Yoga of lamentation. First chapter. Madhavananda Prabhu was here recently, and I was very inspired by his lectures. It was all about love and trust and compassion, and more than having all these rules and regulations. But anyways, I start listening to his lectures again, and I downloaded about Vishaya Yoga, about the yoga about lamentation. And I was so happy because he said this is his most favorite chapter in Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter. And I'm so happy because it's also one of my favorite chapters. And it sounds weird because the first chapter sounds so boring, you know? All these different names, and Arjuna doesn't want to fight and want to see the battlefield and got mental and don't want to surrender and so on. And then he wants to leave the battlefield, wants to go in the forest and become a sadhu. And many people on the street, sometimes I tell, the first chapter is lots of names, but you can start with the second chapter just to get a taste, but then you should go back to the first one. Just that second chapter is amazing, like you're not the body, you're the spirit soul. And yeah, very deep knowledge. But why I like the chapter so much is, first of all, always when I read it, I really love Mahabharata, and I remember the whole Mahabharata because so many names they are mentioned in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and it was right in the middle, right before the battle of Kurukshetra started. So it's very connecting to the big Mahabharata, the great book of the stories of Bharatvaj. And also, what more connects me with this chapter is, at one point in my life, I got the Bhagavad Gita from Gaur Mahanshi. 1 year ago, I got also a book from Gaur Mahanshi. It was 2010 or something, 2011. And I was reading about Ishopanishad, how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And my Advaita nature immediately told me, oh, it's not good, this Krishna is kind of a guru. I thought he's a guru. I didn't know about Krishna. I didn't know that he's God. I thought he's like a person. Like we have so many sadhus who tell us they are God, and they are like very, enlightened personalities, and we believe them, we trust them, and we follow them because we want to be cheated. Unfortunately, one of the conditions in this material world. And I thought Ishopanishad, Krishna, he is one of these cheating gurus. Because who can say he is God, And then Prabhupada always writes, the supreme personality of Godhead. And I read it in one day, the half of the book. Like in a few hours I was interested because I met this monk and he told me about this Bhakti Yoga, and he told me about this temple actually here, that they live very renounced, and they take shower very austere and cold showers, and I remembered some movies I watched about Shaolin monks, and I thought they have like a small water tap of coming cold water, and they shower and they have nothing to wear, and I had a completely different understanding of what it means to be a monk nowadays. And then Gaur Mahani gave me his contact, and I gave him my contact, and he said one day he will message me, maybe to visit them. And as I came home, my mother told me, be careful, it's a dangerous sect. They immediately want to get you. They will immediately try to get you to the temple. And you know what? On the same day, Gaur Mahan wrote me, hey, when do you come? I was like, oh my God, my mother is right, maybe it's a dangerous sect. And then I started reading the book, and I didn't like it. I have to commit. I was very charmed by the books because they were so beautiful, and I was already very spiritual. I was looking for something higher, God, love to God, and meditation, yoga, but it was not the right time. I was not purified enough to accept what is written there. So it took me 1 more year to take the other book in my hand, Science of Self-Realization, and then slowly I started to read about Srila Prabhupada, what kind of divine personality Srila Prabhupada is. I actually got convinced about Krishna consciousness because Srila Prabhupada, he cooked for the hippies. Like, I don't know, I was like, he must be real because he serves the others. It was for the introduction of Mukunda Swami. And yeah, it was so nice to read about a saint who is preaching by his example. And then I continued with the book, but I read the whole book and it confirmed me in all my wrong understandings about spirituality actually. I didn't understand at the end of the book that there's Krishna, supreme person. I don't know why it's mentioned so many times, but I just read what I need to hear. I don't know, it was like still touch of impersonalism in the book for me. But then Prabhupada always mentioned the Bhagavad Gita in this book. So I wanted to buy this Bhagavad Gita. I thought, okay, this Science of Self-Realization was so nice, I need to buy the other book. And then I went to Thalia bookstore and asked them if I can buy the book there. And they said, yeah, it takes maybe a few weeks to order it, maybe even more than 1 month. I said, 1 month, come on, I want this book now. Forget it, I will look somewhere else. And this time I didn't know about Amazon. Amazon was existing, but I never used Amazon or online, order something online. It was like, yeah, not my world to order something online. Yeah, and then a friend of mine called me and he asked me, hey, Alex, what are you doing? And I said, yes, I'm looking for a book about India. It's kind of the Bible of India, the Bible of Hinduism, I said. And I got a book from a monk 1 year ago. Yeah, and I want to buy another book. And then my friend told me, yeah, it's funny, I just went home and next to the bookstore where I was at the moment, Thalia, he also saw a monk distributing books. I said, no, really? He said, yeah, right around the corner there's a monk distributing books. I was like running like anything, I didn't want to miss him. And then I saw Gormohan again. And this time I didn't know you greet people with Hare Krishna. I said, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. No, only Shri Krishna. I said, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. And I became vegetarian right before, like 1-2 months before, and started reading the book, and I told him about everything, and he was concerned to distribute books. I remember he invited me to the program, but he also wanted to get rid of me because he wanted to continue distributing books, get more souls, But sometimes it's important on book distribution to take time for the people. Like he took time for me, but it could be someone else takes it as an offense, like you want to share your realizations and you want to get another book, you want to get in touch with Krishna, and then he just tries to do his own thing. You have to be very careful, it's very subtle. Anyways, he gave me some appreciation. He listened to me because 1 year ago I told him, he gave me also a vegetarian cookbook for free, because he gave nice donation. And I told him, I believe in vegetarianism, and I think all spiritual people should be vegetarian. And he said, are you vegetarian? I said, no, I don't myself want to be vegetarian. But I understood that also Jesus was vegetarian, and it made sense to me to be vegetarian, to don't eat animals. But I didn't want to follow it myself. Then only 1 year later I could understand more deeply that it's very important to don't slaughter animals, to don't eat them. Yeah. Then he invited me. I didn't want to speak about this story actually, but now it came up. Anyways. Then he invited me to a program, and then for the first time, Ananda Krishna was there. He was just leading the Guru Puja, and he was singing the Maha Mantra. And actually I came late and I couldn't find this program. And my mother called me. She wanted to know if I'm going there, because she thought when I go there I will realize this is nothing for me. It's a sect, a kind of weird people. And then she pushed me actually. I said, yeah, I don't want to go there. It's okay, I do something else and I can't find this place. And she said, no, I'm sure it's in this building. Go there, go there. Just you have to see, you have to experience for yourself, and then it's not for you. And I was like, okay, good mother. Not like Putana. She was not the wrong guru, she was the right guru. So she was my first guru actually. She sent me on the path of Krishna consciousness. And then I went there and I heard the holy name, they were chanting, and I was standing in the staircase, and I was a little bit anxious to enter the room, because I didn't know what expects me. And I waited for 10 minutes actually. And then one Mataji came out and she said, hey, what are you doing? You came for the program? I said, yes, kind of, but it's okay, I'm waiting outside. And said, no, come in. And then I went inside and I was listening to the holy name. And this time I was breathing and I was picturing Vishnu in my heart, and kind of all kinds of meditation I did. And sometimes I was singing, sometimes I was focusing on my breath and on my heart chakra and kind of all these kinds of stuff. And then the kirtan was finished and I was sitting like this for 5 minutes. And then Ananda said, you can open your eyes now, it's okay. Yeah, but it was the first kirtan ever. I remember it was such an amazing experience. It changed something in my heart. It's not the same like meditation or yoga or pranayama all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, we even did this regressions to visit past lives. It was also kind of very nice and deep, but Kirtan, the first time to hear the holy name, it was like a drug. In this time we used to take drugs every day. But when I heard Kirtan, I realized this is the real drug. Because there was no side effects, and I remember I heard this Mahamantra, Prabhupada tune, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The whole time it was in my head, and I told my friend Tony, hey, you have to come with me to the program, and Hare Krishna, and Kichai. And the first day I remembered I want to be a devotee. I want to be like them. They're like something else. I want to be a monk. But it was difficult. I went to Ananda and asked him for an instruction. Please, your guru, I didn't know. I thought they're all gurus and they're all like saints. And they are actually. And I asked him for some instruction. And he said, yeah, what should I tell you now? And I told him about at home, I have problems with my mother and this and that. And then he said, just be humble. Accept that she gave you this body now. You could find Krishna. And she gave birth. How you say? She gave birth to you? No, she gave birth to you, and respect her as your mother, and what everything she did, she gave you so much knowledge, so much love and care, and that's true, she did. And yeah, and then I could accept what Ananda told me. I tried to imply it in my life. And the relationship with my mother immediately changed. So instead we have a very different relationship, because I saw her as my mother, loving mother, and everything she's doing for me. And so it's very nice when devotees give us instructions, or the guru. We get empowered. If we listen to it, everything can change. Sometimes Krishna speaks right to the devotee, touches your heart. Then he said, about cows, something, that with a cow she gives milk without a calf. And then I said, I didn't know that a cow needs, I was like innocent, like completely ignorance, that a cow needs a calf to give milk all the time, And then I said, wow, I didn't know that, and I was so like I know everything, how can it be that I don't know this? And then I said, there's also things you don't know. But anyways, it left such a deep impression, and the holy name, and I wanted to mention it in the beginning actually, before I started to speak, that I remember when I read this somewhere from Prabhupada, when he says, the safest place in the universe is when you sit in the kirtan. When you chant the holy names of the Lord. There's nothing else to be more safe. Because there's Krishna directly dancing in your heart. And we can experience it so easily in the kirtan. All of a sudden, when we had the kirtan in the Rumdaswami here, then in the beginning was like we were all like still looking around and mental, and I saw some are leaving, and I was also like, so many instruments, and then I thought like, okay, but I have to understand everyone has different mood, and it's all about glorifying Krishna. And then somebody took over, and we all got mad and danced in ecstasy. And all of a sudden, the layers of the false ego, they get destroyed. This Ija and Dvesha, I'm the controller, and envious of others, and all of a sudden we experience ourselves. We are spirit souls. We are parts and parcels of Krishna. We are all connected with each other. We are all related. And all of a sudden, we experience joy, we experience love, happiness. We experience the spiritual realm. We experience Krishna consciousness. And it's so easy in the kirtan. We can do this every day, anytime. There's no rules. Yeah. And all this knowledge we get, this will help us to deepen our relationship with Krishna. But if we don't apply what we hear, when we don't apply what other devotees tell us, when we just do our own thing, when we just think, I'm the controller, and what do the other people know? Dvesha, anyways, they're not so good. I understand everything. I was already spiritual before Krishna consciousness. I'm born in Krishna consciousness. What did they know? I'm from India. I'm from here and there, whatever it is. Bhakti, it's all about Bhakti Mama Vichanati. Yavanyas Chasmi Tatsvataha. I can only be understanding truth through bhakti, to devotion. Krishna can't be understood by knowledge. It's not possible. we can start our journey. Somewhere we need to start. We need to hear about Krishna. But hearing about Krishna is not just mundane knowledge. It's not different to hear about Krishna, his pastimes, or when he speaks philosophy, or even when Prabhupada explains his purpose. This book is Krishna himself. There's no difference between this book and Krishna. You need to realize this. Also, there's no Maya. Maya is Krishna's sister. Actually, there is no Maya. Maya is only existing because we separate us from Krishna. We separate this world from Krishna. Then there's Maya. Robert always gives the example of the microphone. It's just a normal microphone. We can talk about, I don't know, what people talk about. Politicians, how to rule the world, how to vaccinate the whole country. Or we talk about Krishna. We use this microphone and engage in a devotional service. Then this microphone is also part of Krishna's energy. It's all Krishna's energy. It's nothing else. But this Maya is actually, Krishna says, is divine energy. Davi Isha Gunamai. Maya Mama Duratyaya. Mam Eva Ye Prabhatyante Etam Mayam Etam Tarantite. Davi Isha Gunamai. This material nature is, Krishna says, his divine energy. Interesting, huh? It's not like material energy just dead. It's Krishna's energy. And it's very difficult to overcome this energy. We are so covered by Maya. But Prapatyante, if you surrender to Krishna, it's very tarantite. You can overcome this Maya very easily. It's not so difficult. Prabhupada gave us everything. It's all there in our process. If you take it seriously, if we really, mantra means what liberates the mind. And not only the Mahamantra, we have so many mantras. We have so many prayers. When we just once meditate, most of the time I come into Mangalarati, and then all of a sudden it's Yasa Prasadat Bhagavat Prasad, and I was like, oh, how did that happen? Already the whole Govastakam is finished, and I was somewhere else. But if you listen and understand and sing with devotion to Guru, to Krishna, so we can get so deep in the Mangalarati. The Shinga prayers, Tulsi Arti, glorify Tulsi, Dina Krishna Rasikhoy, Yena Morahoy, Shri Radha Govinda Preme, Sada Yenavasi, to swim in the ocean of Prema, Radha Govinda Prema. So deep. Chai Radha Madhava, the prayers. So deep. Connects us with Krishna. In the beginning also I listened to my Guru Maharaj when he was singing Chai Radha Madhava. I was not devotee yet fully and was at home. And this one tune stuck with me the whole time. Wherever I went, I was always singing Chai Radha Madhava. It was my favorite song. It's so nice. I didn't know at this time what it means. Just Chai Radha Madhava I understood, Radha and Krishna. But the rest of the song, no idea. Yashoda Nandana, I understood something with Yashoda. Yamuna, I know there's a river called Yamuna. But so much more to this prayer. Prabhupada was chanting this every day. Sometimes his voice stuck in ecstasy, singing Chai Radha Madhava. And then of course the Maha Mantra, the great mantra of liberation. The Maha Mantra. Liberating us from what? Why do we chant Hare Krishna? Please, don't be shy. And? Remembering Krishna. And? Never forget Krishna. And what else? Ecstatic love. And? I have actually a list. I don't have my phone with me, but yesterday somebody posted 114 benefits why you should chant 16 rounds in one go. And I started reading the first 10, but I can't remember them. But obviously, I remember it was like you be more focused, you do better service, you remember Krishna, and all these kinds of positive things. So just by chanting Hare Krishna, we can overcome all these material conditions. But is it enough to just chant Hare Krishna and maybe you have your phone in your hand and your beat bag? Last time I saw someone with the beat bag, phone in the other hand, and then with this finger was typing. Somebody said if Prabhupada would have known that there will be Facebook or something like this, or smartphones, then Prabhupada would have not put a hole in the beat bag that our forefinger can look out. So we can't engage this finger on the phone doing chanting. And it's very bad. It's not chanting, it's Namabharat, definitely. If you chant and you do anything else, it's not good. Sometimes I know it's difficult because we have to finish our rounds, we have so much service, and I also catch myself from time to time to do something else and chant, but it's not the holy name. It is the holy name, but it's not the holy name. It will not purify you. Krishna will not reveal himself. You will not get out of the material world if you don't come to the platform of Namabhas. And later Shudanam, but at least Namabhas. To at least try everything possible. Starts with the day before you go to bed. Like I know my chappa tomorrow depends on the evening today. Every time the same. Okay, sometimes you have kirtan still late in the night, but this helps also to chant nicely next day. Because you're so connected with the Lord. But usually if you go to bed, late to bed at 10, 11, how you want to expect to wake up early? And if you wake up early, then you're tired, you can't chant properly. You can't sit down and focus on the holy name. You can't open yourself for Krishna. Because you have to fight with the material circumstances to just stay alive somehow. Yeah. But if we show Krishna, we do everything possible. We follow the instruction of the gurus. We're not speaking bad about others, about the scriptures. We're not considering the demigods on the same platform like Krishna. We don't criticize Vaishnavas. Actually, today I was saying the Trinada Bisonichana prayers. Trinada Bisonichana Taro Abisahishana Amanina Manadina Kedanya Sadahari. And I always say it in German after because it's so long time I didn't say it in English. But let me try now. One can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. We should chant the holy names in a humble state of mind, making oneself slower than the straw in the street, being more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all false prestige, and offer respect to everyone else. Louder. To others. Without respect in return. And then it was said, then you can chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. And today when I don't know, I said it in German and somehow it went somehow deep, like the last sentence, not respecting respect for yourself, but respecting everyone else. And for us it's so important that other people respect us, acknowledge us, to tell us how great we are. And it's so easy for us to not respect others. Because we always want to be the better one. We always want to be in the center, the best. We want to be Elvis Presley, no? Or Krishna. And then I thought I don't know what is more important than the other. I heard this question once, but I can't remember the answer. Is it more important to be humble, tolerant, or do not avoid respect, or offer respect to others? What is more important of these four principles? And I can't remember the answer, but I think it was to offer respect to everyone else. Because if you offer respect to everyone else, it implies actually to be humble, tolerant, and to not avoid respect for yourself. And more humble than the straw in the street. I mean, like a cross, like it says, like when you step on it, it comes up again. You know? But you have to be more humble. If somebody steps on you, you accept it humbly. You're not coming up and defend yourself. Of course, there's some lines you have to, depends what situation you are and which position or service you have. Sometimes you have to also be straightforward and saying, hey Prabhu, you crossed the line now, please know your nature, your situation, don't go too far. But in a humble, it's not what you say, it's how to say it. If you say it with loving words, everyone can accept it. Actually, Prabhupada was chastising also so many disciples. But it came out of love, not of the false ego. More tolerant than a tree. A tree always gives shade, no matter what condition. It may be hot, maybe rain, but you can always take shelter under a tree. So nice. And what we're going to do with the tree, we take the fruits, we pee on the tree, dogs, even humans peeing on the tree. We cut the trees, we make wood, build houses, ammoniums, whatever. Yeah, tree is so tolerant, become more tolerant than a tree. Must be easy. It's not easy. And yeah, do not avoid respect from others. Maybe you do the best service, you engage so much of your life and time and devotion and everything you do, but nobody comes to you and nobody says, Prabhu, thank you, you're the best, you're doing great service. I mean, we should encourage ourselves. Sometimes, like last time, Chinmay comes to me and said, thank you for your service. I felt, thank you that you're telling me this. And then yesterday I went to him, Chinmay, thank you for your service. So nice every day. He's want to go on the altar. Last time he left the temple, and then he said, thank you so much that I could do some service here. Thank you so much. And I feel so bad, and I couldn't do more. And he's doing so much. He's doing like 2 savers a day. And he felt like very guilty that he couldn't do more. And I found it so nice, And I just, Chinmay, I needed to tell you 2 days ago, you amazing, thank you. And then he said, oh, I actually forgot that you're also kind of the temple president, vice president. I said, no, I'm not president, I'm your friend, we're friends. And we should tell each other how much we love each other, how much we appreciate each other. We need to hear this. We're all looking for love, no? Nothing else. If we come here and nobody tells you because, okay, I don't tell him now because otherwise he gets proud. I mean, of course, it's 100 books. Wow, you're the best Sangha devotee. Like one devotee recently did a lot of books, and then everyone tells him how good he is. And easily you can get proud. But still, I think we should glorify the devotees. It's important. We need some appreciation, some love. But we should not expect it. Because as soon as we expect it, or as soon as we tell it out and say, wow, today I cooked a big feast, everyone loved it, like they told me 5 people came today, and I do this sometimes. I don't know why, I'm so conditioned, but people tell me it was so nice, and then I tell someone, wow, really liked it. And I'm happy, I could serve Krishna, but also some subtleties there that I enjoyed it, But then all the credit goes away. Because I'm not cooking for anyone's appreciation, I'm cooking only for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of the devotees. And Krishna knows how much you endeavored. He sees. And he will give you unlimited blessings, unlimited happiness and love and all what you need to proceed. But we destroy it so easily by becoming proud of ourselves, that we are the controller, that we are the enjoyer. And then offer respect to everyone else. Not just Vanchakalpadubhasha, Kripasindhaveva Chavatītanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Let us offer respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like the side trees, can fulfill the desires of everyone, and are full of compassion with the fallen conditioned souls, and then blah 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 blah. We should really understand what this means. When I was on book distribution, this was my most favorite prayer before I started with book distribution. Why? Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Then you think about all the Vaishnavas, and especially Kripa Sindhu, because in this prayer it says, Kripa Sindhu Be'evacha. And there's one devotee in our society called Kripa Sindhu. And I always need to remember Kripa Sindhu. And he's a great book distributor. So I was always happy to remember him and meditate about his blessings. And then let us offer respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like the sire trees, kalpa rikshas, can fulfill the desires of everyone. And my desire today is to distribute lots of books, to meet lots of nice people and to touch their hearts. So you can pray to the Vaishnavas. And they're full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. And this is what we need, this compassion, especially when you go out on the street. And this prayer is so amazing, actually. Sometimes during the day I chanted it. It's nice, it's a very powerful prayer. But did I realize it? I don't know. But we chant this prayer every day. So we should come to a point, at one point, that we also feel this in our heart, like really I want to pay my obeisances to you. You're great Vaishnava. We only see always the conditions, the shortcomings, and oh God, he didn't again clean this floor, or he took my toothbrush again, or he stole my gamcha, and always this guy, and then he farts always in the temple, and whatever, you know. But we should never see all these faults. And if you see, then don't tell it anyone, and even your mind, don't listen to it. Focus on the good qualities. Like Krishna, he only sees the good qualities. I mean, do we really think that we would be devotees if I mean, who are we, where we come from, if you look deep in your heart, you know who you are. And do you really think you could face Krishna now? That Krishna will appear in front of you and will hug you? Actually, he will. Because he loves us. Krishna loves you. He's always there with us. He never forgets us. Even though we are rascals, we want to be him. And even we say, Krishna, you don't exist. No. What's your name, Prabhu? Jitendra. Jitendra. Everyone here, Jitendra? The name? Jitendra? But he doesn't exist. No. He's not existing. Jitendra is not existing. I don't believe in you, Jitendra. No. Never. It's like Krishna how it feels like. Imagine everyone ignores you. Everyone says no. There's millions of proof that Jitendra exists. There's even more proof that Krishna exists. But there's people thinking, no, there's no Krishna. There's no God. Can't be. There was a big bang. Poof, and everything was there. I mean, if you study this Big Bang and the evolution theory, it gives you a big headache. And I meet sometimes people, they try to explain me, and you can't reason with them. Because they have no reasoning. There's no reasoning behind it. The creation is so amazing. Krishna is so amazing. Even that we exist, that we have this body. I mean, when my wife was pregnant and the child came, this was such an amazing experience. Like, from a semen, all of a sudden this baby comes out. And today she offered flowers to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. She came with the flowers, and then she went again. And yeah. It's like, everything is so nice. Everything is so beautiful. Everything is amazing. Yeah, it takes so many births that we realize who we are. So many lifetimes. Bahunam chamanam ante jnanavan mam prapatyante Vasudeva Svamiti Samahatma Sadurlabaha. Bahunam chamanam ante. After many births and deaths in this material world, jnanavan mam prapatyante. Someone surrenders unto me. When finally he gets knowledge about Vasudev, that Vasudev is everything. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. When I give pranayama classes, I always chant this mantra. With devotees, with non-devotees, doesn't matter. But we should understand. Vasudev is everything. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And he is everything. And Samahatma Suradulubaha. Such a soul is very rare, who understands that Vasudeva is everything. Who believes here that Vasudeva is everything? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you 5, you are very rare. You are very rare souls, you are Mahatmas, because you believe that Vasudeva is everything. The rest of you will also hopefully one day believe. No, I think we all here because we understand that Krishna is the supreme. We had once a program in Linz, and then 2 people came the second time. And the first time they looked like completely like punk rock, I don't know, like heavy metal. Like the one had like eyelashes and this chain with this spikes and black hair, and they looked really, but they were very nice, very very sweet people. But from the external, they looked a little bit like, okay, I don't want to really have spent my time with them. But they came to the program and they bought some books and they enjoyed the kirtan and the prasadam. And the next month or the next 2 weeks, they came again. And then they asked us, yeah, do you have the Krishna book? I want to read about Krishna and his pastimes, how he kills the demons. You have this book? And then we gave him the Krishna book, and then he said, wow, Krishna is so cool. And he talked about Krishna the whole time. And Ananda said, it's so amazing to see someone changing after 2 weeks, believing in Krishna, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a small little boy, playing on his flute, herding the cows, killing demons. And he completely believed Krishna is God. all of a sudden. And I remember this. It was so nice to see people changing. I think about your own life. When Krishna came into your life. Remember my first picture of Krishna was Krishna as a baby when he's stealing the butter. Couldn't get anything else, was nothing available in the stores. Then I found some other pictures about Shiva and Vishnu and Ramachandra, but no Krishna. And I always had to meditate about this baby Krishna with butter. And I had no idea about this whole story about the butter thief and the Vrindavan Leelas, childhood pastimes. But they are so sweet. And then somehow I was convinced Krishna is this little baby. Because I came back to the point, Vishaya Yoga, actually, somehow I left the path of Vishaya Yoga, the yoga of lamentation. But now I'm coming back to this chapter. And Arjuna lamented. He told Krishna, please, let me see our enemies. They're my uncles, they're my brothers, they're my grandfathers, my teachers, my friends. Before I fight them, please let me see them. And then Krishna, he drove the chariot in front of the army of Duryodhana. And Arjuna saw all these friends and family members he had to fight against. And then when he saw them, he was like shaking, he was like shivering, he was crying, he couldn't hold his bow and arrow anymore, he had to drop his arrow, his bow. And Arjuna was the greatest Kshatriya, the greatest warrior. And someone like him to see like shaking and crying, and he understood if he fights now against these people, his own family members, he will destroy everything. And he mentions he will destroy religion because they will get killed, and then the wives, they're without husbands, and then we get Vana Shankara, we get, how you say, unwanted progeny, children, and the whole family tradition will be destroyed. Then we get unwanted population, and he could think about everything, all the circumstances, what will happen if he will do that. And so he decided to go in the forest, to do something what was not his nature, because he was a great kshatriya. Even though before they lived in the forest, was because he lost the gambling match. But to renounce everything and to leave the battlefield was not his nature. And Krishna told him, hey Arjuna, what's going on with you? You're doing something what is not your nature. You should fight. You will anyways fight. You can't go away from your nature. And when I read this, why it's my favorite chapter is because when I read this first, I felt like I'm Arjuna. And many of you probably felt the same. Because we're in the same situation, we're in the same dilemma. The material world. I don't want to do it anymore, I can't do it. I'm suffering here. And then we don't know any way out. We just want to run away. Like I always wanted to emerge with the other souls and with the Supreme Soul. For me, God was the Supreme Soul. And we become all one. And I always told my mother, I want to go back to my spiritual family. And she cried, oh my God, you want to kill yourself? I said, no, I don't want to kill myself. But yeah, I always had this feeling like I don't belong here. I belong somewhere else. Yeah. And we all do this because we don't belong here actually in this material world. We belong to Krishna. And we will never be happy here. It's not possible. Without Krishna. With Krishna we'll be happy. And then Arjuna, he asked Krishna, please Krishna, you're my friend, you're my guru, you're my teacher. What must I do? What can I do? And in this moment also I had the Bhagavad Gita and I put it on the, this time I put it on the floor. I didn't know I should put it high, but on the floor. And then I paid obeisances and I asked Krishna also, please accept me as your disciple. This was when I started my Krishna consciousness journey. And this is important, this feeling of lamentation. It's very important. Actually, they said if you read the Bhagavad Gita first chapter, if you have a bad day, it's lamentation and frustration, depression. Yeah, depression and lamentation. So if you have a bad day and you lament and you feel like you can't make it anymore, then read the first chapter. I do this every time and it always helps. Maybe it's a placebo effect or it's true. No, but it works. The first chapter is very, very powerful. And especially if you go into the mood of Arjuna and if you, at the end, come out of the mood of, you have nothing you can do. There's only one way, and this way it means to surrender to Krishna. And what means to surrender to Krishna? What does it really mean? Hingabe, surrender. I'm asking you. Why we always say, I want to surrender to Krishna. I want to be more surrendered. But what does it mean for you to be surrendered? Yes, that's more what I wanted to hear. To let yourself fall, like you jump from a cliff and you know Krishna will catch you. Like let everything go. Nothing else matters. Only Krishna's desire. And this is what Krishna tells Arjuna here. Give up all your false conceptions. Doesn't suit you. He was already a devotee, but he got bewildered by Maya. Actually Yoga Maya, Krishna's pastime, but he got bewildered and he forgets who he is and what is his purpose. And then if you tell this to someone, the battle of Kurukshetra, very terrible, like millions of people died. But it was a divine fight. Because this fight, the supreme personality of God, it was present. And for us, Bhagavad Gita is so sublime because Krishna directly speaks to us, like he speaks to Arjuna. He tells us what to do, how to surrender. And then we just let everything go and we say, Krishna, whatever you want. And so we should chant in the morning. We go to the morning program, Krishna, whatever you want from me, I'm your servant. Okay, it's time. Thank you for your attention. Maybe there's one question. It's already late. So all clear, Chai. Let's all surrender to Krishna. I wish you a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Be sure Krishna loves you very much. I also just want to say it, I also love you all. Thank you for being in my life. You're all wonderful devotees. And I hope I can serve you better and appreciate you more and more, day by day. Because that's all about. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki chai. Gaura Bhaktavinda ki chai. Mahaprasade Govind.